Hello, everyone. You have me, Jeanette Martin, the owner of MYBC Consulting. And tonight is a very special night for my company, for myself, and for a person that is sitting next to me. Just want to give, before I introduce tonight's author, where the rationale or where this idea came to me. As you can see, I love books. I love meeting authors. I love bookstores. I love supporting local bookstores, the secondhand bookstores. And in my travels, I have a lot of books that the authors actually signed. And I was feeling that there wasn't a place of honor for these people that are in my life that I hold the stewardship of their creativity. That's what I feel about art. That's what I feel about books, is that when we read somebody else's words, we are holding their words within our hearts, and we are the steward. And it's up to us to make sure that we're recommending these books, passing these books on to make sure others are getting the same story as well. So tonight I am extremely excited, as looks like she's maybe prepping her notes. Those of you that do know the two of us, we are very much connected with an event that is a world event called the Gratitude and Appreciation Summits. Tonight we're talking about something that a lot of people, I bet you, don't know about this particular individual, Kathy Fester. So welcome, Kathy, as my first guest at the launch of the MYBC Virtual Bookstore.
Thanks so much, Jeanette, for having me. I feel truly honored to be the first. And I'm so excited about this new launch for you. I know you're very passionate about all this.
Absolutely. Your book in my pile, your first book, because you've written two, is kind of right there, kind of at my top of my shoulder level. And guys, in these piles of books, 3/4 of them are from authors that I know. So it's really kind of special. So tonight is going to be a little bit different because your book is what's called a collaboration or a collaborative author. But first of all, let's dial it back. So Kathy, why did you want to become a first-time author? What spurred you?
Well, it's funny you asked that. As I went through this journey, I realized I'm actually not a first-time author. I've actually written articles in magazines many times. Okay. But that's part of my other life, because those of you that don't know, I'm a master teacher. I teach music in high school. I've taught K through 12, and through my different leadership roles on a provincial level and national level, I've written many articles. I just thought that was part of the job. But what's interesting is, as I've been embarking on this new journey in my life, because life is a journey, folks. It's a journey for everybody. I'm part of this group called Dynamic Women, led by Diane Rolston, and she's a life coach and business coach and a great friend of mine now. And she offered opportunities to be a collaborative author in some books. And the way she was talking about how having to be an author, how that can help build your business, and the learning process of writing and the learning process of publishing is just so different to me. I thought, why not take an opportunity and be that collaborator? So I've done two books. So the first one was on success secrets, and there's actually 52 authors. I'm one of them in this book. So it's basically, the idea is to read one a week and listen to the advice from other women. I've had some men purchase the book too, but it is ideally women that are talking about their world of business. And then the second book that just got launched a few weeks ago is Confidence Secrets. And it's got I wrote it down here so I wouldn't forget, 33 authors in it of women talking about what confidence means to them, and advice and how to implement it in your business and your personal life. And then, of course, you and I, with this partnership with Gratitude Appreciation Summit, and my goals for 2021, say bye-bye to 2020 and welcome 2021.
Absolutely.
That, I just came up with my word for 2021, and it's care. My mantra is always
Oh,
kindness, but it's care. It's care for one another, care for our neighbors and friends, our clients, the people we interact with every single day, whether casually or closely, and care for yourself. And that's my biggest lesson right now.
yeah.
2021 is going to be about caring about myself.
So,
So that's how I became an author. And I've actually started my own book. I've already started, you don't know this, but I've actually started my
okay,
own book now, as my journey transferring from traditional professional in terms of
right.
teaching in the education world to a professional businesswoman, and what that journey looks like, because it's unique.
Yes, it is. If we can, I just want to go back and revisit a couple of things, unpack a couple of, as they say in the interview world, unpack a couple of the items that you just educated us on. Um, you said this word process. So
Mhm.
what is the process that someone goes through to write, to become an author? So what was the process, story, thought, like how, tell us almost like from the beginning to like you had the book in your hand, the process that was involved with you
Well,
becoming an author.
well, hmm, it's an interesting question, because the first book, I went through the process with Diane.
Okay.
She took us through exercises to do that. The process for the second book was, okay, what's the theme of the book? Confidence. Okay, I'd like to submit an article or collaborate my thoughts on confidence in the book, because I believe that at my age, being in my 50s, don't tell anybody, in my 50s, uh, that I'm most comfortable in a teacher role. So how can I impart the knowledge that I have to other people? So the theme was confidence. Okay, how do I feel confident? I'm not extroverted. I'm not completely introverted. I'm more introverted than extroverted. I'm sort of down the middle there. So how have I created confidence in my world? And reflecting on that, jotting down some notes. And then,
Mm,
of course, we were given a limited number of words to use,
okay.
which actually helped bring the submission into a much more cohesive manner,
Hmm.
because people will tend to ramble and say too much. So getting down to the core purpose of that article or my contribution to the book, and then the rest was all done. I didn't do a lot. I submitted it, she had an editor, and they published it. So
Wow. So
yeah.
it sounds easy, but I know there is a commitment level. There is a commitment level of you to her, because you said, you stepping up in life, that she's got a big goal or big picture of what this next book was going to look like, and the commitment level that you said yes.
Yeah.
So did you, I heard you say, unpack a couple of these other notes, wrote down a couple of notes. So how many times did you write, or like how many notes did you have? And then how many times did you rewrite? I just want to get our viewers a sense of, okay, I didn't just sit down and whoop, there it happened, or maybe that's the way it was, or what was kind of your process as an author
Yeah.
writer to
Well,
get to where you are today with this book?
what's interesting is the first book, it had many rewrites,
Okay.
many rewrites, because I wasn't confident,
Oh,
right? I
interesting.
wasn't confident with my writing. It was my first time doing something like this and talking about a field that isn't new to me, but is in my heart. And it's hard for people to express their heart in a way that people can understand, because it's such a deep emotion within us.
Okay.
Teaching, no problem. 1 + 1 is 2. It's not going to be anything different, right? It's out there. So I'm confident that 1 + 1 is 2, although my husband, the mathematician, would argue that. Um,
Don't tell me he's into quantum physics, so he
oh,
needs
yeah.
to write his own book. Anyways.
So, so what's interesting is when it came to book number 2, I actually I reached out to you actually, because you are such a wordsmith with words, because you're going to write a book too on gratitude, girl. And I reached out to you, and then I took it away and thought about it, and then reworded a few little things, but it actually got done within one evening, really. Yeah.
So,
So
so I'd almost say where we're speaking our truth and putting truth to words to pencil or typing or whatever, it flows a lot easier. That's almost, I hear the lesson.
that's very true. That's very true, because if it's not flowing, then there's not, in this kind of an arena. It's different when you're writing a story, like a fiction story. There's a whole other
Right.
process. My best friend is an author, and she's written a trilogy of books, plus many
Oh, wow.
short works as well. And I've gone to some of her conferences with her. So I know there's a whole other approach to this. But for a collaborative book like this, you're right. When you're speaking your truth, it does flow a little bit easier, because I know it's true to me, and that's all that matters. And I have confidence in what I say, right? And
Uh,
I've learned that confidence by going through the process,
right.
right?
So may I have you open up your section and give
Sure.
us a little bit of a reading? If you, we've got great time, and I do have Di. We'd like to say thank you, Di. You are watching the Facebook live feed right now. If you do have any questions, I should have prefaced this at the beginning. We're learning as we're going along. If you have any questions for Kathy or for myself, or if you've got a book that you would like to see on the MYBC Consulting bookstore, the MYBC Virtual Bookstore, throw it into the comments. And I would love to hear a little bit of a reading. What would you say, 2 or 3? Because I do know it's page and a half, or 2 pages, 2.5 pages. How about giving us a reading for the next 2-3 minutes out of your book?
Sure. I'll read the intro. It's basically, it's Confidence Secret number 17. So I'm the 17th author in the book. The Art of Gratitude and Appreciation. How appropriate, right, Jeanette?
Just a bit.
What does a confident person look like? How do you seat yourself in confidence in life? At the core of my being, the secret is how I show up in gratitude and appreciation with heart-centered actions. Living in your authentic, genuine self and sharing value with others provides an opportunity to build and create human connection on a foundational level. By performing this positivity, creating action, you are then giving kindness to yourself and the receiver. And I'm not going to read the rest of it because it's not a very long article. But just a little bit about myself that I put in here. That I embrace the vision of life as a journey. That is really who I am. And as such, the mission of my life is to change the world one person at a time through the acts of kindness. That is what I'm all about. I'm a firm believer of the power of kindness and seeing her acting on promptings, having confidence, and being authentic in everything I do. When I decided to go into business, when I decided to participate in these articles, or contributions to the book, when I decided to do gratitude appreciation summits with you, I had to believe in it. I'm not a faker. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm authentic to the core. And I vowed I would never be one of these speakers that would say the same thing over and over again. You know how you go to some workshops and you've seen that speaker before, right? And it's the same thing every time. Like you could almost say what they say verbatim. And I vowed I would continually grow and learn more confidence, learn more self-assurance, learn more about what it is to be successful for me, not comparing to other people. I've long since stopped doing that. Oh my goodness, you just go into turmoil if you're comparing yourself to other people. So,
Absolutely.
but it's one of those things that at my age that you kind of learn this too as you go along. But that's part of the journey, right? I just wish I'd known some of these things when I was in my 20s.
That's okay. Hey, if you can open up the index, and can you read me a couple of the other titles within the book?
Yeah, absolutely. So
let's do 5. I'm just going to check and see if Di's got any questions for me.
yeah, sure. So here's a good friend of mine, Anahita. She's secret number 1. Hers is from hobby to a profitable business. We met at a market fair many years ago when she was just starting, and she was making homemade, they're called go-go bags. That's the name of her business. And they're reusable lunch bags. And I have one of her originals, I'm proud to say. And she's now gone on to Amazon. She's made a hobby into an absolute business for herself while being a mom. Here's Confidence Secret number 6, Fake It Until You Make It. This is by Erin Johnstone, also a good friend of mine. She's a hypnotherapist, a qualified hypnotherapist. And she's absolutely amazing. Let's see, another one here. Confidence number 13, Passion Over Fear. That's actually something I didn't talk about in this particular article, was the whole concept of fear. I did an interview a few weeks ago and we talked about that. And I encourage anybody listening to this that fear is actually a healthy thing. Fear has such a negative connotation to it. And I really believe that if you don't have some element of fear, I'm not talking about terrifying, I'm talking about fear or a little bit of anxiety when you're, like, say, stepping on the stage and your heart starts moving a little bit faster, right? And you have to consciously slow your breathing down so that you're not speaking, blah, 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 right?
Right.
That's a healthy thing. So, and by working through your fears, you become more confident. So that's a piece that I didn't have enough space to write about. We have a competition in my company where we try and have a competition who can get the most no's in a day. Nobody likes to be responding to no's. You want yeses all the time in your life. And quite often, and this happens at very young ages too, when somebody says no, it often has the power, you give it the power to shut you down and not fight through that fear. Yeah. So I have always viewed fear, well, I'm stubborn too. So fear is actually a really good thing, but by working through that creates that confidence within yourself. So I was really fearful. Oh my goodness.
You know, I'm just visualizing. Yeah, I can visualize myself because I've spoken on stage before, and you're so right. There's that heartbeat. It brings you back to the present. Yeah. We do have a question. One of the questions is, how do people get your books? So how would you like people to purchase the books from you?
If you,
one of the
and here's the deal. Part of this publication of this book is going to charity, actually, to a women's shelter in North Vancouver and a women's shelter in Ontario, because Diane's work is actually across, it's international and across Canada at the moment. With this particular book. So it's $10, $5 goes to charity.
Perfect. So how can somebody get it?
Directly through me, just Kit, K-I-T, at fester.ca. So K-I-T at fester.ca. That's my last name. And what I'm doing is, rather than ordering through Amazon, it's expensive through Amazon, don't do it. Once I have orders in, I will put a bulk order in as an author, and then I will get the books to you.
And do you have something, I think, for us tonight?
Yes, and I'm actually giving away one of each of the books. And I'll tell you a little secret, book number 3 is coming next year. Haven't decided if I'm contributing for a third time, but there is.
Oh, you got to do the trifecta.
Maybe I can't remember what the theme is, but there is a third one coming next year. So I'm going to give the 2 books. So it's for free tonight. So you, Diane, can decide who the winner is tonight.
Can we go back to book 1? Yep. And can we have your title of your collaboration?
I'm Success Secret number 23, and it's finding success by adopting a gratitude attitude. So I'll say that again, finding success by adopting a gratitude attitude.
Beautiful. Yeah. So I'm just going to check in, Di. Is there any questions? I know we had people that wanted to know how to buy the book we'll put that definitely into the comments as well. And when it goes up on my Facebook page, my website, so it's going to live. So if you want to go take a look at some of the other books that are going to be listed up there, it's the MYBC Consulting /bookstore. I'll put that in there as well. Guys, I am letting you know I am not making any money off of any of these books. I feel when you have a can-do attitude and what I can do. Fictional, some of them are fiction books that I know an author, well, the one that I helped collaborate is not quite in there. It's still in paper over there, but it is available on Amazon to order, the ebook, Project Goldtooth. Helped create and worked with the author back 13 years ago. And I think, everything happens for a reason, Kathy, in its due time. Had this book series come out back in 2013, or back 13 years ago, it wouldn't have been timely. So the story within Project Goldtooth is very timely. And there was just a message, it popped across my screen. Now I asked people to put their names in the comments. Oh, so they're putting their names in the comments in order to draw for the prize. So thank you.
Excellent.
That is so amazing. Thank you so much for being our
Excellent.
moderator today. So there you have it. We're ending a little bit early. That the launch, it's about books. I declare 2021 the year of the book. I believe that I went to a seminar with our good friend Darla yesterday, and she's a big believer of turning off that thing with the remote. And during that hour or two that you would have spent watching a show, a mindless show, pick up a book and read a few pages of a book. And by the end of the year, you would have changed your life. And whether it's a book for fiction to kind of take you to a place that you didn't know that you could go to while you're reading fiction, or if it's something in order to better your life, or you may have already known it, but you may be able to change it into your verbiage and teach somebody else as well. So thank you so much, my good, beautiful bestie friend, Kathy Fester, two-time author of your books tonight, for being my guest. I do already have a guest booked in for next week from Florida that I met, and she's got a book about coming out of trauma in a very, very beautiful way, and how she is walking a very different path right now. And I'm so excited to host her next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. So I guess this is going to be a regular occurrence as new books get added to my website. I'm so grateful for everybody that comes along on the ride, for the crazy good collaboration, connections, community that I have here at MYBC Consulting. So thank you very much. We're going to say a big happy New Year to everybody. Bye-bye to 2020 and hello 2021.
Thanks so much for having me. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.